What is up, everyone? This is Sarah G. It's GenZG-Gab, and I am kind of on a rant today, of course. And before anyone says, yeah, this has not been a great month for technology for me, and I just want to say that I've had so much tech struggles that it's making me, maybe just a heads up, might have to take a break because everything is so draining. And I want to explain that I've wanted nothing more than to create a podcast, but people have been just deciding to comment really rude stuff. And I know it's really harmless, but because I haven't had any sort of comments about if people like this podcast or not, it starts to hit me more, and I'm just getting more and more drained. I have a lot of mental health issues that go along with this time of year, so I just wanted to say that I will continue to do this, but if I do skip a week coming forward, it's less to do with anyone who listens who is a true fan and more to do with what I have to do to better my mental health. And I know I'm not sounding very happy right now, but you know what? I do unfortunately fall under that vain superficial where I need to have my TikTok numbers grow and I need that extra dopamine. Yeah, I know I'm addicted to some of that social media, but the problem is that when you're trying to be a content digital creator and it's, not working in your favor. And I want to address this again too. Like I said, I talk about Ethan Trace occasionally on here, but he has found and has spoken about this, just how shitty the algorithm has been lately and how much, he's got 2+ million followers, and even for him, and I am very fortunate to see like a big creator like him speaking out about it. But yeah, it's just, look, I really do work very hard. I really do understand that comes with the territory. Whether or not it's even just a small mean comment or really not that big of a deal, which I totally understand. I just need to explain though that with already how much I'm feeling, I don't personally know if I'm gonna have to take a break or not, just to reassess, readjust, and come back and give you the content that you all deserve. That being said, obviously, I just spent the first 3 minutes, not super cheerful, and that's okay. But Monday mood, I'm going to try to be a little lighter of a note because the Super Bowl is coming up. I know that there are a lot of people hyped up for the halftime show. And again, I am so sorry because I try to pronounce everyone's name correctly, as I've said in multiple videos, that it's understandable when you don't have a great last name that's easy to pronounce or gets easily messed up, or the same way as me having my name spelled the way that it is. And I understand that it's still way different than this, but I need to make sure that I correctly do this, especially because I'm a big fan. And I think that we all can relate to that in a sense. So yeah, Rihanna is in it, and she, again, is phenomenal for, her beginning, what she's done. And I think that we all sometimes forget where things happen or started. And I think that, when you think about just some of your own struggles before you realize one thing is that everyone has a story. And I really do love, the awareness that Rihanna has brought to our attention of life. And you know what? She also did help me a lot as a kid with geography because of the fact that she is from Barbados, and I knew that was a little island but unfortunately, because when you're a kid and, all the dyslexia stuff, you never really know and you can get things messed up. But yeah, I just wanted to say, as silly in some ways as it sounds, but not actually, yeah, she helped me learn my geography of where Barbados was, and I truly have to say that I never forgot, and I've learned more along the way with other, obviously, actors, singers, etc., public eye, public figures, but she definitely had a huge impact on, and I was a little kid even being out. She now is like a philanthropist, fashion designer, all that stuff. And I think that when you look at everything, it's a unique situation. Again, I know that we could talk about like Beyonce, we could talk about Shakira, we could talk about a lot of those other women that I have looked up to, obviously, in different ways. But, the thing is that she's also like 10 years older, 9 years older than me. And I think when we sit back and realize that, even if we were a little bit of younger children during some of these times, I think that in a way she had a lot of impact on me, because even though I didn't fully know every artist, but I knew all of the songs when I was little, especially like Umbrella, because that was kind of when it started more. And then obviously, though, in a way, for me, like, I look into a lot of other things, but she is definitely one of the most well known, and I think that it would go into a lot of things for, it is currently Black History Month, and I know that she is someone that will forever be talked about, and not just in the sense for Black history, but for women, feminism. She fits a lot of that. And I know that what I'm saying might not fully make sense or clarity. And I know I'm a little bit of a word vomiter, like I've said in the past, but I truly, seeing though that strong and independent side, again, like her, Shakira, and Selena Gomez have really been, at least in my mind, idols growing up. I know that there's a bunch of other, but I just wanted to mention that. Obviously, Shakira was way more of an influence when I was trying to learn Spanish and listening to music, and I've mentioned her in the past too. And Selena Gomez was just more of the one that was closer, like a peer almost. So when I think about all of that as a whole, it's unique. And another thing I want to talk about as we're on this subject, and again, influential things, was Proud Family. And again, this week, the Proud Family did a phenomenal episode that the clip has been coming around about how Phoebe is autistic. And the way that they handled it was so beautifully. And as someone who has ADHD, it's still different and there's some similarities that overlap, but the way that they had this discussion about neurodiversity was beautiful. And at the same time, the way that, autism has been tiptoed around for years, this was finally like something that was done so loving and so understanding. And again, the way you need to go and watch it if you haven't, but the fact of the matter is, Oscar, of course, had some apprehension, but by the end of it, he understood exactly. And the thing is, instead, when Trudy was telling him that he needs to relax and all that, like the therapist, the school therapist, preschool teacher just said it's okay for him to have this feeling. I know it's a shock, but they talked about how lower needs and how the needs can change along the way, and that it doesn't mean anything really, and it's just done so well. And I obviously don't want to give away so much more, and I know I probably maybe didn't articulate like the best way with some of that, but I just wanted to give a little sneak peek of one of the clips that I've seen. I watched the whole episode, and it just, honestly, everybody needs to see that, because as if the first series wasn't, spectacular and still has an impact today, this one now even gets more detailed and more understanding. And I love how they're doing a lot of the new, to fit with our society today. And also, just so that before I, you know, go off into some other thing, I do want to touch a little bit on the, you know, respect I have for producers and directors, especially right now when I'm having my technology problems. Like, I'm doing this all on my own, and I completely get it. Obviously, I feel like obviously it's a little different with them, and I think that they might have it so much easier, but then I realize they're making sure there's a deadline every week. They're making sure they're this and that. They're making sure that it's 100% polished. Unfortunately, like me being mediocre and first level of this, I can try to make everything perfect, but I at least can go back and edit things or post something like that's maybe been a little better done. But this is like a one and done shot that they have. So anyway, I just wanted to extend my admiration for that, because I truly understand now how all the production pieces work: editing, directing, and then just like putting it all out there. Yes, producing, and aside from obviously when I'm thinking about school, how the whole like actors work too at the same time. Again, all of you, but I just really want to extend my gratitude for the production teams, especially, but the crew. Because it really is true that the actors can do their job. Like, a whole thing of everyone's a team is very a unique perspective that I have, been noticing more and more lately through my own trials and tribulations. So yeah, I will say it is, though, a time to think about how I can say everything doesn't seem to be going the right way. My brother has been feeling the same way, like that we suck, we have stuff not going right now in our world. But at the same time, not everybody's life is going right, and I feel bad that my mom has to listen to us complain, but at the same time, she'd rather us complain and vent our emotion than, do other stuff, which is great. Moving on, though, to the fact that, speaking of which, things that aren't going away, we have a mouse in our house, and not like cute little Mickey Mouse. I'm talking like, not even Remy. I'm talking about like a Ricky Rat or whatever. I'm trying to think of which show that's from. I know it was a parody of something from The Simpsons, but either way, yeah. So my cat has been trying for the past month and a half to get this mouse, and me and my mom went up to the cabin with the dog because the dog sometimes distracts her, etc. The mouse is nowhere to be found. The cat is just doing her life, and you know what, it's ironic, it's sad. She wants to do her job, it's just not working. And I think that that's a lesson that I need to work. Like, again, we're all doing what we think are the steps in life, or the steps that are supposed to work out just fine in the end, right? Well, I mean, you never know which way, again, it's gonna go, but you get there and then suddenly, yeah, it's not working. And then in other news, though, my dog, her tracking devices are working just fine. She's a herding dog. Like I said, she looks like the Shaggy Dog, bearded collie from the Tim Allen movie, The Shaggy Dog. But her senses have been even more alert. She's scared of a lot of things, but she noticed this week, again, which is very interesting, that, there are deer up in the outdoors. I love the great outdoors. I love smelling everything and unique. And she tracked for about 20 minutes all the deer footprints. So that was fun to watch, because she, not that she isn't funny to watch to begin with, but just kind of, I've got a clip I can show at the end anyway of her just running around and sniffing and tracking, just loving her life while my mom and I were snowshoeing. And it's the little things. Like, again, I sleep great up there. I sleep better because I can be able to relax relax, usually for the most part. Actually, this weekend was a little more stressful because I was trying again to figure out how to purge some of the stuff out of my Final Cut Pro, because my Final Cut Pro, here's the thing, backup, surrendering, all that stuff can wreak havoc on your hard drive, which I've been working on myself to try not to. So me and my mom are listening, my mom mostly because she couldn't help but just sit idly by and let me freak out at my computer again. But she decides that we should be listening to this, and then we should figure out a way to like get up some space. So if you're anyone like me, you might have files that are huge and that need to go down, and you need to get the rendering off because that's like all the background tests. And I figured out how to do all that, and yet still some of my files are not working. So I have to keep going back and forth until, I lose. And I know that it's part of life. I know that it's the trials and errors, and that, it makes a good story later in life. Not at this moment, but it makes a good story. I get that. The problem is, though, again, I have to also stick to a timeline of when I have to post this TikTok, even if it's just a reaction video. Also, for anyone that decided to, comment about that I look like I make faces in the mirror, etc., that I practice all this, no. Unfortunately, I'm just an expressive person, and that my face is, I guess, a little over the top. And I know that it's not that big of a deal, but it's also like, are you freaking kidding me right now? Like, you couldn't have thought of something better. And I know that the world is full of bots and more of those haters, but it's just, our world has gotten a little bit too self-centered, too focused, too much of what do I need to get ahead. And again, I'm not as into that mentality, and I think, yeah, I get it, and just this toxic cycle. Again, I'm doing this a lot for me. I'm doing this for anyone that feels like me, who's in the shoes that I am. And it's a never-ending cycle of, I already am not feeling that great about something. I don't need extra people just going out of their way. And I get it. Again, I signed up for the internet. I get it. I've always had the internet. I get it. But it's just like, at the same time, people don't realize how stupid it is just that they can decide, hey, I'm just gonna write something to be funny or whatever. And I know, I have my own snarky comments here and there, but I never try to judge someone's appearance too much. Unless, in this case, though, I tried not to do this too much, but I'm sorry. If you know me, I'm a big supporter of trying to find, like, donor conception, infertility, fraud, reformation, all that stuff. And there's a big-ass creep on TikTok, on Facebook groups, who is sharing and not doing informed consent. And for anyone who wants to know about it, please go and follow Laura Hack. Please go and see some of my videos. He is a disgusting pervert who really shouldn't be. He has a genetic disease that he's not leaving out to people. He's not giving the real truth about his genetic disease. He got rejected from a donor bank, which I get it. Like, you shouldn't for some dumb reason, or just because you have a genetic illness. But the fact of the matter is, this guy just refuses to tell, the couples that he's involved with in this situation, and he's doing it all from his house, freezing it, storing it all in his house. Like, again, it just sounds like a Craigslist ad gone wrong, So yeah, so that's just some info in case you wanted to hear it. And I know that we're probably wrapping up a little bit quickly here, but aside from all the stuff that I had said in the beginning, I do just truly want to say I am very appreciative for each and every one of you, like I said, who listen. Again, I just personally am very much annoyed with how much we can, feel like we can say anything and hide behind a screen, etc. I'm not saying, again, that we're all perfect and comments aren't always the nicest, whatever, but I'm saying the people that truly go out of their way just to make your life miserable, or just think that it's okay to say whatever and be just internet bullies, whatever, and just go out of their way to be rude. And it's not me being a coward if I delete your comment. I just don't need that. Like, I'll leave most comments up because it really doesn't bother me, but when I've been in the situation that I've been in currently right now, I personally just don't need that added. And it's probably why I am saying that I need a break one of these days. And it's all okay. Again, mental health is health. And when you've been stuck in these limbos, and again, I have ADHD, I have OCD. When I have both of those combined, it does mess with your head. And I think that we have this stigma against some of that stuff. And I truly want to have some time to work and reassess. Again, my technology hasn't been the best the past couple of months, and I need to work on some of that. And it's just like this constant, never-ending battle. You are your own worst enemy a lot of the time. So I just wanted to touch on and reaffirm some of the things. If you feel like, oh my gosh, she's going away, I won't go away forever. Again, this is episode 40 that we're on. We've already been through 40 episodes. I've already done this. I just meant that I might need a little break, just because I, like many other people, get burned out when you're doing a lot of this stuff all by yourself. And again, like I talked about it, that I am truly grateful for people who are on crews, on set, not just cast. Like, I mean, the whole thing works as a team, but I needed to state that again, I truly respect the people who work in production. This is not an easy job whatsoever. But I need some time to self-care. I haven't had a chance. I really want to listen, again, to the new Wizards of Waverly Place pod. I want to, do some other things. I'm going to try to get back into some of my acting stuff. I haven't done some things that are really good for me and self-care, when I've been just trying my best to grow and grow and grow on these numbers of, again, social media. And social media in this generation, especially for elder Gen Zs, younger millennials, again, going through the motions of this, trying to work on it. It's a lot, and I honestly have been seeing, again, more of the snark pages, and I don't want to get to that level where I get a snark page. Look, nobody has to love me. Not everyone has to love me or like me. I just meant that I don't want to be doing so much social media, draining every ounce of my being, and to wind up in that situation. So I just wanted to take some time to reflect a little bit on that and explain some of those things, because I feel that we kind of let a lot of that through. And yes, again, TikTok is a beautiful, and hopefully it does stay around. But again, we've had all those ups and downs and those rumors that have been going on forever about, is it going to stay? Is it going to go? I don't really know. And again, I want anyone who is a fan to know that I really do truly appreciate you. And I haven't even gotten around to doing even my Patreon like I like to do. And so I've been a little bit hectic with my technology and not getting everything that I've wanted to get done. And I know that not everybody gets everything that they need to get done. And again, the toxicity of work, or we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And I get it, but I wanted to say, if there's any other smaller creators out there like me, that we're all doing the best that we can. I'm not even saying that that's not the truth for the bigger creators who might have more help. And I'm not saying that, other people aren't doing their job or whatever. I'm saying we're all working hard. I'm just saying there is different levels. The reality is that we are all at different levels, and that's okay. And I do know of, and I am in touch with bigger creators, but they've all said the same thing that, Laura said to me. Again, it's just that we are an era where it's just quick, and there's just not enough time to really process everything, and that our timeline needs to be more relevant or more realistic. It's not just this instant fame. And again, not everybody has the resources for this fame. And again, I've been looking back at some of my old YouTube clips and videos and whatever. If anybody saw that, yes.
Sure, I understand.
Thanks, Siri. If anybody saw my old videos, which I think I've said this, yeah, I didn't know my hair was to be wavy. Okay, I'm still playing around with products, and I'm still working on some things. But yes, I'm aware what my hair looked like. I'm aware that it was not frizzy straight. I'm looking at pictures, and again, my mom actually did better hair care than I do, or that I did, so I'm working through a lot of it right at this moment. But yes, I'm aware that if anybody looks at some of my videos back in 2017, 2018, yeah. Also, I can say this, if anybody wants like college survival guides or how to deal with difficult or horrible roommates or just different people, I can do a whole series on that because, and I know to these people I was not the best roommate. Again, people don't vibe, not everybody's gonna like you, but again, it's just like where I always run into these situations where my brain goes, how the hell did this happen to me again? How the hell did this happen to me again? And again, a lot of this comes from kind of late bloomer and how you are as an ADHD person, at least in my experience. Also, you gotta stop. One thing I'm gonna leave you with this week, you gotta stop trying to push a friendship with people that clearly don't give a fuck about you. And I'm saying this because, you think you're building bonds with people or whatever, and it doesn't always work out, and that's okay. People's priorities shift, whatever. But I just want to say that it's not that you're a bad person or a bad friend, it just doesn't vibe anymore. And it's, again, you might want to follow the ADHD psychiatrist, again, the truth doctor, and so many more who break down and make you be able to see some of this. And again, there's overlaps with so many different conditions. And just so you know, it's not always you. Again, it's more of a two sides to every story kind of thing. And I just want to emphasize that again for anyone that's in my shoes who doesn't feel like anything's really going, and how, making friends have always sucked a little bit, but it's because we're outside of the box thinkers. And, we keep asking ourselves, what is wrong with me? It's not anything wrong with you. I know that that's a cliche to say, but it's true. We're all, and again, people saying we're all beautiful and unique. It's true. Look, we're just a little different, and that's okay. And I wanted to say that again, as I was tying to earlier when I was talking about the Proud family. And again, my mom works for Pacer Center. She really instilled a lot of good things in me, and so did her boss, just everyone that I've been around. And again, it's good. Nobody said life was easy. And yeah, let's face it, I'm also a family member that is the only one that can eat. Has a gluten issue, a thyroid issue that's autoimmune. I know people are going to say, what's that got to do with some things? But I'm even different within my own family. Like right now, my mom is going out to buy gluten-free pasta for me because the store's been kind of out, and then we were low on it, and I made the joke, which is true, and yes, a little bit of a pity party for me, but it's true. It's that it's kind of excruciating being the only one that can't have gluten, that I have to clean up some things, I have to take a little extra more care, but that's okay. Also, I do want to tell people, because I follow some gluten-free dietitians, I follow dietitians, like I said, for eating and learning to just kind of let the world kind of happen what I am. Again, I'm 5'8.5", 5'9", not supposed to weigh like 120 pounds, regardless of what the BS of BMIs. I've been retraining my brain. If you're anyone in my situation who have had feelings like that, just know this. It's okay. Also, just know that because you're gluten-free doesn't automatically gonna make you lose weight. And I'm only saying all of this because of the differences that I feel sometimes within my own family. And again, it's life. And I wanted to leave that with you this week. And I also wanted to say that I am going to be watching the new Matt Rife special. And yes, I did buy a backstage or a Q&A question answer thing for at the end of the day, like after his premiere, just so that I can ask about season 2 of Bird Patrol, because that's just, I've been rewatching it. I truly have, because I need some dumb comedy right now. But if you want to see also another great example of inclusivity, go and check out his channel, because he does a great job of including everyone. That's all I was gonna say. There's a lot of other some creators out there that I could talk about, but again, at this point, we are wrapping up. This has been episode 40 of GenZGab, and we will see you soon.